What is that? Goosebumps. Stay out of the basement. Oh, that's my next review. Hello everybody, it's Common03 here. I came exploring my basement. I've been hearing some weird and strange noises. It's Friday, September 1st. First day of this month. It's weird. Normally when the first day of the month happens, it's exciting. But this one's been weird. As I said, I've been hearing strange noises, so I came down to the basement here, or underground my house, if you would even call this the basement. And it's a little anticlimactic, but I'm under here now, discovering the noises, and I found this. And now I remembered I have to review it, so that's what we're doing. We're going to review it. Hopefully the noises will go away. Okay, so let's get into it. This is about a girl, Margaret, and her brother, Cassie. Their father has been fired from his job at his university. He's a scientist. He's been doing experiments on plants down in their basement. I'm a little out of breath, so I'm sorry. He spent his time in his basement doing experiments on plants, and they're worried about him because he doesn't come up anymore. He just stays there isolated, working on experiments. He doesn't call anyone by their nicknames that he gave them. He doesn't join in on family time or any of that. He's just by himself. The only time he goes out is to get some sleep or get some food. And as their mother goes away to be with their aunt because she's sick, their father gets even stranger. I'm sorry, I'm forgetting the names here, but Margaret, she catches her dad eating plant food, and then they find their dad with leaves growing out of his head, and his cut that he has on his arm is bleeding green blood. So when they go down to the basement, several times to find out what's going on, but they don't get closer. They get nowhere. All they hear is weird moping sounds, groaning from plants. And some plants do attack Cassie a few times. They don't really attack Margaret. It's mainly Casey. They probably got something against them. After the fourth, fifth time they go to the basement in the final chapters of the book, they they hear banging on the door. This is the second time they hear it. The second to last time they go down to the basement, they hear it, but they leave because their dad comes back. And this time when they go, they actually open it, and they find their dad in the basement, as well as Mr. Martez that's tied up in there. And yeah, I should let it be known, spoiler warnings. It's kind of too late, but I'm pretty sure everyone knows what happens in Goosebumps because it's Goosebumps. Any newcomers who see this and doesn't know what happens, spoiler, I apologize, but so I guess you probably should have known that for books that are this old. I mean, they're pretty old books, so we should have known there was going to be some spoilers. But I really did enjoy this one. I enjoyed it just as much as I did the first time reading it. Except I think it was better here because it's been years since I read it, and I want to say I watched the TV show before I read the book, so I knew what would happen. And there are some huge differences. TV show had to... Okay. The TV show had to lighten it, tone it down a little bit. I wouldn't say this is the darkest one. I still think the first one, Welcome to Dead House, is a little darker, but it's still got some dark elements. Like there's, for example, there's stabbing, their dad got stabbed in the arm. He bleeds because she needed to see if that was her real father or not. Because, in the TV show, it was just plants. It was plant poison, or whatever it's called. that they had aimed at both of their fathers. Here, she actually has an axe, and then she stabs her father to see if he'll bleed red or green, and then that's determined. So it was toned down, but I think it was still there. It's still, the episode was still creepy, but we're talking about the book. I think the book, I can't say it's as creepy as Dead House, or at least not through the whole way. I think Dead House was creepy throughout the entire book, where this one, it's a slow burner, where you question some things, but it's like, okay, what side effect is it for when he makes up the excuse with the cap, why his head is the way it is with the leaves. It's kind of creepy when you think in a child's aspect, I think, or any aspect really, it's creepy when you think of like what happened. But versus Dead House, I think Dead House has an advantage because you're constantly guessing, where here it's like you keep getting information about his job, and you get some explanations, like the experiments that he's trying to do, which it does build up to the twist, helps build up the twist and makes it stand out better than it did at Dead House, with everybody being not really with everyone being dead. I think that was pretty good. I'm talking about the ending twist in Dead House, where the guy who sold him the house is still alive. I mean, that's pretty common in horror stories. This one, though, I think had a better twist ending. I think the twist was really good in both books, but I think if you're counting it with the twist ending was better here. But which one's the better one? I don't know. It constantly goes back and forth because it depends. Do I want one that is a slow burn, not really a slow burn, that's fast-paced, right to the point, but yet is terrifying throughout the entire way through, or do I want one that's a slow burn and absolutely is pretty terrifying at the ending, because you don't know what's real, what's not, especially for everyone who knows the way this book ends with the flower saying that it's Margaret's real father. Makes you question, is it really, or is that a lie? It's a big question. It leaves you guessing there, where in the other one it's a story that you get pretty much every answer for. So, I guess by that, I would go with this one being better, because I like having to go back and think about certain endings. But, like I said in my previous review, the first book was a starter. It was a test subject to see if it would do well, and it did really well. I think it still holds up, don't get me wrong. But just by my explanation with the ending, I think this one is slightly better, because I like how Goosebumps twist just kind of happened at the end, and then you kind of got to guess what happens next. There is one book, though, I feel like that is a little, just by memory, I'll have to reread it, that I feel like that's kind of a cop-out, just because it gets a sequel, but it doesn't pick up after that one. If any, y'all probably know what I'm talking about, but just to go ahead and let some of y'all figure that out on y'all's own. There's one book I really like in Goosebumps, and I like the sequels, but with the way the first book ended, R.L. Stine should have picked it up right after that. It would have been interesting. But instead, it's just different people with, the same monster that was in that book, but with a different person. I feel like he could have done a lot, actually continued off of it like he did with the rest of them that actually got a sequel. Or most of them that got a sequel anyway. But as of this book, I think it's a great second entry. I think this is what you really kickstart, the first one kickstarted Goosebumps. I think this one shows the extent of how it can be, because it's slightly longer. It's longer by 3 chapters, but the pages is short by 1, but it's still longer in comparison. And I think it does a good job showing how much of a slow burn Goosebumps can be, where the other one, it's like if it wants to be fast-paced, it can go there. But I think the slow burns are better, especially if it is a shorter, if it's a shorter book, depending on the length and what you want to go with, it would be better for it to be slow, or sometimes it'd be better for it to be fast. But I don't know, I feel like I think they just gotten better. This one just is one that got better. It's like that movie franchise where the first movie's good, but then the sequel was so good, and then when they kept going with some, there was some that they just got better and better. If there is an example, I can't think of an example, if I'm honest. That's kind of a lame description. Analogy, I mean. That's a lame analogy, because I can't think of a franchise with a movie that got better and better. But take that for what you will. I think this one is slightly better than Welcome to Dead House. Mom called. She's on her way home. So I gotta hurry before she finds out I'm in the basement. She doesn't want me to be in the basement, so I gotta hurry. I told her that I'm just enjoying the outdoors. Probably not the best cover-up, so I'll just get right into it. This one's slightly better than the other one, but I can see the debate on which one's better. I can't wait to read the third one, because I know that they will get better, but they'll probably get worse, because, you know, when they try to be very goofy, it's not bad, but compared to every other, it's like, let's just have it be dark, but yet a childish dark, so it don't scare kids too much, but it still scares them. But anyway, that's the review. I gotta go before she gets home. I don't need to know that I'm in the basement. I promised her I wouldn't go in the basement. I'm already here, so I need to hurry. Okay, so if you enjoyed this video, leave a like and subscribe. The next one is Monster Blood. I always get that confused with Say Cheese and Die Screaming. Well, actor. So next one's Monster Blood. Y'all tune in next Friday for that review, and this Sunday for something that's video game related. I don't know what that would be, because I'm having trouble with my Xbox. It won't, the storage keeps screwing up. So with that said, I'm Clownboy03. This has been Goosebumps Stay Out of the Basement review. Y'all take care. Beware, you're in for a scare.